Hi. God, thank you. This is so exciting. Well, I mean, yeah, we're all excited for Shook the Third, guys. This is great. What a good night. I was very intrigued by the title of this evening, "The Art of Being a Millennial," because I thought, I mean, would we call being a millennial an art? I say it was more like being a sort of warped psychological experiment, but I mean, it makes me feel better. I was actually born in the cut-off year, 1996. Some others. But I also feel like you sort of just qualify with being millennial if, like, you eat avocado toast and live with your parents and sort of wake up with a feeling of existential dread. But there are plenty of other things. I did my research about what the sort of top things of being a millennial are. I came across quite an informative list, very thorough, and I thought I had 3 highlights from that. The first one was that millennials are fiscally irresponsible, which is probably the most boomer way of saying spends a lot of money I've ever heard. Second was they have poor communication skills and only ever text or email, which I thought, I mean, sure, where would we be about our precious Hotmail accounts, you know? And then the third thing, which maybe is a little bit sort of specific, a little bit Americanized, but I'd say it was pretty solid, was that they only voted for Bernie Sanders because they wanted free stuff, which I thought was rogue. But actually, when you come away from it, that's probably some pretty good things. Like we're ballers, apparently. We're really living a high social life with our Yahoo and all the others. And we're doing good things for politics. So honestly, who can blame us? We're doing fine. But the other thing that I noticed a lot was about millennials at work. That was a big topic. Apparently we're all lazy, and we're all sort of oversensitive, and we can't take criticism. And so, when I was scrolling through this list in bed on a sick day I'd taken, I thought I'm actually pretty offended. It's really offensive. But no, I have just started work. I graduated. I did English, so yes, I do work in PR. It's going fine. Also, I'm classically in the role of intern. I think maybe forever. It's such a weird stage of work, isn't it? It's kind of like you're not just making tea anymore, but you are sort of just moving things from one spreadsheet to another. And you also feel like you're watched all the time, but are also entirely irrelevant. So it's a real tough mix. Also, the first thing I had to do when I arrived at said job was to send an introductory email to the entire office, which was great. And amongst the normal things, like, where did you go to uni, what did you study, and sort of what are your GCSE results or whatever, you had to provide the elusive, interesting fact about yourself. No, it's the absolute pit. It just sort of throws you back to the first day of school or whatever, when you're in circle time. It's like, give us a little fun fact, and it just feels like listing all your favorite animals doesn't really cut it anymore. So so I was there, I was at my desk, and I was just sort of like, okay, right, just think, what's interesting about you, what do you do, what do you like, and then sort of who even are you, and you all just starting to have this sort of existential crisis at the desk, and I was like, what can I just say for now? And I was like, okay, I'm doing stand-up in a few weeks, so I'll just say I do that. That's sort of interesting, isn't it? And so I just click send, just use that as my interesting fact, and that was a bloody can of worms, wasn't it? And you have absolutely everyone in the office coming up at various points going like, oh, stand up, that's interesting. Could you tell us a joke, maybe? Just give us the set right here. And I just thought, no, because I'm inevitably going to bitch about you in it. So that's just not appropriate. Another thing that happened to me recently is that, oh, actually, that's not this part of the set, so I'm going to move back. Cool, that comes later. I was gonna say that it's still better than this time last year where I had a bit of a shocker. I was meant to be having a second operation for this thing. Big narrative coming your way, guys. It was this thing where basically I had my arse cut open. Just some context for that. Basically, it's with a thing called a pilonidal sinus. Anybody, any sort of pilonidal sinuses in? No? Cool, okay. So what it is it's just this like cyst thing that forms just like on your lower back, which is the polite way of saying my actual arse crack. So, and you know, it did make things difficult. It was a weird sort of stage of my life. I mean, to be honest, mainly just to sort of go, just sort of do the old, sort of, you know, sort of do the old anal. So that was a struggle. But no, it's all good now, thankfully. I didn't need to have a second operation because it only went and bloody healed itself. What? It's like a Christmas miracle. It's like a sort of like a parting of the Red Sea, but in reverse. Cool. Anyway, I'm so fine now. And the other thing that I mentioned earlier that people have been asking me about lately is this necklace, which if you can't see, it's of a platypus, and it's one that my boyfriend gave for my anniversary. I like to call him my third arsehole. And he bought it for me. Why a platypus, you might ask? Well, he bought it for me because he says I've got a top lip like a duck bill. Just cute things. But coincidentally, it wasn't the worst present to be given at that anniversary because I bought him a rice cooker. And not even one of the fancy kinds, just the microwavable rice cookers, because I panicked. I thought, you know, what does he like? I asked myself. Rice, apparently, was my answer. And that's not even the worst bit, because I liked it so much that I bought it the exact same one 2 weeks later. And it begs the question, guys, I think you'll all agree, why at that moment when I was sitting at my desk, I couldn't think of a single interesting fact about myself. So that's me. I've been tragic. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your night, guys.